and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you. You're watching another episode of Encounter. Today we have a very special guest. We have Dr. Madhu Kartish, who is a pulse reader. But a pulse, you can't read. You have to sense it. So that's why we have Dr. Madhu with us in the studio. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Please tell us, what is a pulse reader?
A pulse is just seeing the radial artery of the person. So we call in, basically this art exists from the deep south of Tamil Nadu. So we call this in Tamil language called Nadi. In Nadi means it is moving towards a person. So a doctor should move towards the person's illness, and the person illness, we should read the pulse, we should go inside the body and see where the illness lies, and the person comes towards the doctor, he moves towards the doctor. So it is called Nadi. The patient comes to the doctor, the Nadi goes towards the illness, and finally we find the reason why there is a illness and give the cure.
So this is why you're known also as a Nadi doctor.
Yeah, we call it a Nadi.
How do you become a Nadi doctor?
So basically I am a Siddha doctor. Siddha is the oldest system of medicine which is existing, and in Siddha we have the teaching of Nadi. So after completing my college degree, I started a clinic, and once when I completed my clinic and I was coming outside, I was standing in a bus stand, and one old man came near me and asked me, "Are you Dr. Madhu?" And I told yes, and he told me, "I know how to teach pulse. If you are interested, you come and learn to me." Because in college days we are not taught that depth. We are or teach only the theoretical part. So I did not have a doubt on him, and I did not question him. Who are you? How come you know me? Why you are coming and talking to me? I just told him yes, I will come and learn. So he told me the next day, he told a place to come and meet me at that place. I went. It was around 2 p.m. Then he told me every day by 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. you should come here, and if you are coming by 2:01, I will not teach you.
Always be on time.
Yeah. So and I have. It was the best time in my life, I can say. I went to him every day. Then he taught me what is pulse, how to read a pulse, how to see a person, and he will first thing what he taught me is don't see anyone as a patient, see everyone as a person. So when someone comes to you, if you see them as a patient, then you will not find the cure. See them as a person, you find where the illness is, just give them a simple remedy, because he taught me illness is not that much too complicated. The body is very simple, it is very clearly designed by the Supreme God. So you just find out where there is a mistake is going and tell them how to correct it. So he is the one who taught me everything. His name is late Mr. Ranganathan, and when he chose me, he was 76 years old, and I was the first student for him, and I was the last student for him also.
So you were the only student that he ever taught?
Yeah, he taught pulse.
So he was already practicing pulse reading before?
No, he was not practicing. He was basically, he was a teacher, and he has learned pulse through someone, but he was told to many people that he'll know pulse, but no one was ready to accept him. And then when he was chosen me and he taught me, then only now through his blessings I am teaching that to many people. I am doing good things to many people, I believe. But whatever I am doing is because of his blessings.
How old is the technique?
So we cannot even give in numbers how old is the technique, because it was the first system prevailed when this nature existed. So from that time this pulse was there. And olden days, they read the pulse in 10 different parts of the body. They can see in your head, they can see in the neck part, they can see in the hand, they can see in the thighs, they can see in the leg. Everywhere we can read the pulse. But the simplest way and the simplest motion to read the pulse is the hand. So we read in the hand, but you can see in every part of the body. Generally, for seeing a newborn babies, I see on the legs, and after 3 years or something, then I start seeing on the hand.
So basically you start reading a pulse where you can sense a vein.
When we read the pulse, we connect all the organs, and each and every organ will have both the physical problem as well as psychological issues. So when we read the pulse of an organ, we should see where the problem is. So when we touch, we just put the fingers, 3 fingers, and we hold the rhythm. So we can sense the rhythm because on the tip of the finger, and we will start adjusting the rhythm. When we adjust the rhythm, each and every organ has got a unique rhythm. It should fall on that exact rhythm on our fingers.
It's impressive that you're able to read other organs from the pulse. So can we show the viewers how you read the pulse.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
can
sure.
you show them? Yeah.
First we
So
will
I have to. Is it the left or right?
First we have to see the right hand.
So I'll just open this. Yeah. All right. Let's do that.
So this is how we read, and we.
You said 3 fingers.
Yeah, the 3 fingers we keep, and with these 3 fingers we call is the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
Kapha.
And with these 3 we start adjusting.
Upper, middle, lower part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should see the rhythm. So when the rhythm is imbalanced, we will try to adjust it with by giving the pressure. So with this pressure, you can understand where the problem is there. Then after seeing the right hand, and then the same thing we will do with the left hand also. For the left hand also, there are few organs interconnected. So with that we adjust. After that, we finding the problem, we hold both the hands, and by holding both the hands, I will adjust each and every organ's pulse. So for example, if I find the problem is in the, there is a lower beat on the liver and there is a higher beat on the kidneys. So I will give a pressure over the kidneys to transfer that rhythm to the liver. So if it is adjusting properly, then it is okay. When if it is not adjusting, then the problem is with the kidneys.
So you can. This is how you can. You can sense if there is a problem in the body.
So when we are adjusting, while we adjust the pulse also, when we read the pulse, we should be able to understand what is the atmospheric temperature. So it is always believed that human body is a part of the universe. So what exists in the universe should exist in their human body also.
You have to read both pulses at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you see if there is any disease or discomfort in a person?
Yeah, when we adjust the pulse, we know each pulse will have a connection to the organ. We know which organ is having the imbalance, and with that we know if that organ is having an imbalance, we connect with that disease aspect. But those also we have taught that we should not consider as a big disease. It is just as imbalance. So when the imbalance is made perfect, things will be okay. That is what we call Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata is basically a thing which is connected with the movements of the body, and Pitta is the fire action in the body, and Kapha is the fluid imbalancing. So if these 3, if there is an imbalance, then it is called a dosha, a 3 dosha we call. So with that 3 dosha, you have to adjust and make it perfect.
What does 3 dosha means? 3 means 3?
3.
And
Vata,
dosha
means the Vata, Pitta, Kapha.
All right, okay, exact. So just for our viewers to know, what really intrigues me is many of the discomforts or disease that you sense in people, you often detect it at a physical level.
Yeah.
But this is not where it starts. This is a discomfort that starts way before at another level. So how do you detect this? Does it start at an emotional level, at a spiritual level? How do you get to terms with it?
Always every problem will come basically because of the emotional imbalance. So we always connect body and soul together. Why there is a difference between modern medicine and our medicine is modern medicine see body in a different form and mind in a different form, but we interconnect both the things. So whenever there is an emotional imbalance, that impacts on your body. For example, when you have a fear or when you have a nightmare, generally you are asked to drink a glass of water. It means the water is responsible for taking care of your kidneys. Kidneys are responsible for your fear factor. So if there is an imbalance in the kidneys, they will have fear. If there is an imbalance in the liver, they will have anger or emotion, this imbalance. So whenever there is a stress or there is an emotions, we connect this. So whenever you read the pulse, first you go for the emotional pulse, then you go for the physical pulse. So maximum if you treat the emotional pulse itself, the physical organ gets healed.
It's the homeostasis effect of the body. So it always tends to regulate itself and become normal again. Yeah. But sometimes there are blockages. This is where you come in.
Yeah, when there is a blockages, we give medicines, and we give medicines. As along with medicines, we ask them to follow the proper diet. So only through proper diet, the blockages can be healed permanently. Medicines always acts as a catalyst. A medicine can never cure a patient.
This is what I often say in the programs, that when you go to a doctor, they will address the problem, but they don't solve the problem. So you are getting at the root cause of the problem.
Yeah, because my guru always tell to me, if you are asking a person to come for a follow-up after 6 months also means then you are not a good doctor. So if you are asking him to come for a follow-up, then you are taking trial on his body. So when you know how to heal him, then you should say after 1 year don't come to me. In this 1 year you should be able to cure him completely. Okay, it may take 1 month or 1 year, it may differ from person to person. But don't ask them to come for a regular follow-up. Don't take trial on their body. That was my guru used to say.
This is where you remove the business aspect of it, in a way of saying, but also it pushes you to be very good at what you do.
Yeah.
And there's no room for mistake. You've come to Mauritius many times, Dr. Madhu. What is the most common problem you've come across?
Here the most common problem is, again, for a small country like Mauritius, diabetes is the biggest problem, and I feel it is because of the wrong diet habits they are following here, as well as the wrong lifestyle they are following. So for a small country, the diabetes is a very big killer disease here, and as well as the cholesterol here.
So is it down to the way we eat and how we exercise, or not exercise?
It's purely because of the way you eat.
Okay.
That is the major thing. Because people here are okay, they are doing many exercise compared to India. Here the exercise is okay, but the diet is very, very bad.
So the way we eat is probably the root cause of many of the problems and diseases. Can you give a few advice how people in general should eat? So 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner?
That is good. And a breakfast should be always between 7:30 to 8 a.m. and the lunch should be between 11:30 to 12 p.m. and the dinner should be between 7:30 to 8 p.m. So if you are following this time itself, it will be better. And some people they take dinner at 7:30, but they go to bed by 1 a.m. or something. Then that is also bad. So after your dinner, make sure within 2.5 to 3 hours you go for bed.
But they say that it takes 2 to 3 hours for the food to digest. So isn't it good to wait for the food to digest before you go to sleep?
That's why after 7:30, if you're taking, go to bed by 10 o'clock or something. After
so if you finish eating by 8, you should be asleep by 10 o'clock, half 10.
Half 10 is better. 2 hours after your dinner is always better.
So what time would you say is a good time to sleep and what is a good time to wake up?
Between 10 to 6 is a good time to sleep.
So a full 8 hours you would recommend to people. And this will probably help to reduce the amount of disease in people.
Because sleep is one of the major thing. Because the more the correct time if you sleep, then the body is getting rejuvenated easily. People sometimes they say I sleep by 3 a.m. but I compensate by waking up at 11 a.m. That is also a bad thing. So after sun comes, your body should not be on rest. So when the sun rises, you also should rise along with the sun.
There's a whole science associated to this.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm very curious, if I want to become a pulse reader, how can I do this?
But to become a pulse reader, first of all, you should get a doctor degree, and also you can learn this pulse only through gurus, and it is not that you choose a guru, the guru will choose you. So you have to keep searching for a guru. If the right time comes, the guru will choose you and he will teach you the pulse.
When you say I have to get a doctorate degree, so I have to get a generalist...
you have to complete your class 12. In India, you have to complete a class 12 and then you have to write the entrance examination.
It's just before you start your specialization courses.
Yes.
So instead of doing a specialization course, you have been chosen by your guru to become a pulse reader.
Yeah. No, first you have to do a specialization course, like it is a 5.5 years course.
All right.
After finishing this, you have to do your master degree. But before doing my master degree, my guru chose me and taught this. So I thought it is better than the master degree. So I continued with this.
Well, can I say it is luck or it's your destiny?
I say it's my luck.
It's your luck, but it's also your destiny. Yes. So if I want to become one, I have to study. What if I come to South India and meet you there?
But again, this system, why it was not so popular is, this exists only in the Tamil language. So to study this, you have to first read and write Tamil. But now for the past 4 years, they have translated everything to English, and now they started a college in Malaysia and Sri Lanka. Even in Kerala, they have started a college in the form of English lecture. But
where they teach pulse reading?
Yeah, they teach and you have to study the course. But it will not have the same essence like reading and studying in Tamil, the original text.
Why is that?
It will be in the form of poems and the verses. So when you read that, you can understand the depth. It will be very depth.
So some of the essence might be lost in the translation?
Yeah, sure, definitely will be lost.
So you have to go to Tamil Nadu to learn it, I'm guessing. How long has the technique existed?
We can say when humans started existing, this existed, because it is just reading the pulse. And when
it is not just reading the pulse. You cannot say that. The existence of humans goes thousands of years. So
and the system also prevailed some thousands of years ago. So and basically we call this the best technique to read a health of an individual, because a apparatus, a MRI machine or a BP apparatus cannot tell you what disease you are going to get in the future. a BP apparatus cannot tell you that you are going to get BP after 6 months. An MRI cannot tell you are going to get an inflammation or something after 3 years or 2 years, but this pulse can tell. With this pulse you can tell what problem you can get in the future, what problem you had in the past, and why the problem existing in the current situation. So we can interconnect everything and you can give a solution.
When you read a pulse, so you take into consideration the heartbeat,
Yeah,
the intensity of the flow.
yeah.
But how do you sense the other organs just by touching the wrist?
This is by experience it comes. So how you have to read is, we have, when you touch the person's pulse, you have to, as you told, you have to see the heartbeat, you have to see the intensity and the rhythm, as well as to which organ it is flowing. Along with this, you have to connect with this atmospheric temperature, as well as you have to observe the body language of the person. So all these things you should do within a few fraction of seconds. So this comes only on experience.
Does that mean like you have an IQ of 180? You've often come to Mauritius,
Yeah.
and you have many Mauritians coming to you. So you're based in Cupip, where people can meet you.
Yeah.
So you won't be in Mauritius for much longer, but how often do you come to Mauritius?
Every 2 months once I come, and come for a 1 week trip. So basically what I am doing here is, we do the pulse, and I developed a concept called Astro Food. So what is Astro Food is, I believed, because once how this concept came to me is, once I met an astrologer in India, and since I was having a talk with him, and he was telling that it is all time decides everything. Then he told, when good time...
It is all time that decides everything? Time?
So, time.
How?
So he was telling me that when good time comes, everything will be on your
side.
And when bad time comes, everything will be going against you.
Is that what they call Shani and Mercury?
Yeah.
No, yeah, okay.
So then I asked him whether it is applicable for health also. Then he told, yes, when good times come, you will be healthy. When bad time comes, you are supposed to fall sick. Then I told, then what is the need for a doctor? When you have a bad time, when you are going to fall sick, then why there should be a doctor? You can wait for the good time to come. When your good time comes, automatically you are going to get healed. So there is no need to go to a doctor, no need to spend lakhs and lakhs of monies, and don't need to take such kind of poisonous antibiotics and spoil your health. So this was a question going in my mind, and I wanted to make something new and something to make people come out of this illness. So I cannot go and tell a person that take this medicine now, because after 6 months you will get a BP. They will think me as a fool. So what is the best way to make people understand and prevent them from the illness is food. Food is the easiest way and the good way to make them ill. So with that, I developed a concept called Astro Food, because I believe that each and every one born in this universe are governed by the 9 planets. The same 9 planets will have the effect on all the plants existing in the body, in the universe. So I interconnected the human body along with the plants. Then how to make it a little bit understandable, this 9 planets I connected to the Panchabhutas, we call the Akash, fire, water, earth. So with the Panchabhutas. So each Panchabhutam will be having a connection with the 2 planets. So that is why when you eat a food, when you for example, when you eat an amla, the taste will be astringent.
What is amla?
Amla, a gooseberry.
Okay, okay.
So for example, if you eat a gooseberry, it will be having an astringent taste. When you drink water, it will be sweet in taste. There are many foods like that. When you eat, it will have one taste, and when it goes inside the body, there will be another taste. It is because of these 2 Panchabhutas. And then I interconnected the 6 taste. So how the 6 taste plays on the body. So for example, when a person is having muscle weakness, he will have a tendency to eat more amount of sweets. When a person is having a pain over the joints, automatically he will add a pinch of salt. That is why when you observe kids growing, they automatically go and take salt and eat. That is why children have a craving towards potatoes, they have a craving towards chocolates, they are having craving towards salt. And when the temperature is very cold, you feel always, I want to eat something hot and spicy. Because when the temperature is very cold outside, your nerves get weakened. When your nerves get weakened, when you take something spicy, your body adjusts that. So your body itself will ask for the taste. So this Astro Food is a combination of 9 planets, Panchabhutas and 6 tastes. So again, after finishing this, then people thought that always a healthy food will not be a tasty food. So that became a challenge for me, because if you are giving something without taste, they can take it for 1 day, and next day they are not going to take, then again there will be a problem. So then we worked on that in Chennai, and then with that we designed a concept with that the food will be tasty as well as healthy. This is how I met Chef Muham in a conference in Delhi where I gave a speech about this. Then he saw me, then he came for the consultation, things happened, then he invited me to Mauritius, and then how. So thanks to Chef Muham also on this occasion, I have to thank him.
So this is where you carry out your consultations in
Yeah.
QPIP.
In my consultation, basically I read the pulse, I prescribe them what they have to eat, what they not to eat. So when you follow the proper diet itself, you are going to be okay.
So the Astro Food is Ayurvedic food,
Yeah, it is a pure
vegetarian
Ayurvedic.
food.
It's a pure vegetarian food, Ayurvedic food, and I basically believe that all the illness comes because of two issues. One thing is milk and egg. So I always ask my patients to avoid milk and egg in their diet. And in this Astro Food, there will not be any milk or milk products. There will not be any white sugar. There will not be any basin. There will not be any cauliflower and cabbage.
Why is that?
So basically,
Especially for milk and egg, which is very popular in most products nowadays that we people eat.
yeah, people always believe that milk and egg are the richest source of calcium. So even when I ask everyone to avoid milk and egg, the first question comes to me is, then where do I get my calcium?
But it's not meant for us. It was meant for a baby calf.
Yeah.
So we are basically drinking the milk of another species.
So that is the exact answer you are given. So and moreover, it is not the calcium which you eat is not going to give the calcium to the body. It is all about the absorption. So how your body absorbs. So when you take milk and egg, it disturbs the digestion. So once your digestion is disturbed, it entirely disturbs the entire body. So basically, if you avoid milk and egg, 60% of the health will be cured.
And a lot of things which I have read is cow milk is probably the closest thing that we can relate to the milk produced by a mother. It is probably the closest, but it's also very far away. It is not the milk that we need to drink for. And I think we have been subject to a lot of marketing through the economies, through the times. This is why people think that milk is so important for them.
And people blindly believe that anything white in color will have a good source of calcium. That is also a problem.
Because what is a symbol of purity?
Yeah, that is okay, but that it doesn't have a calcium. And as you said, more than cow's milk, we believe that always donkey's milk is next to mother's milk. So even in Tamil Nadu, there's a text we have, if you don't have a mother's milk, then give a donkey's milk.
All right. That's a worst case scenario. Yeah. But that's only for the first few years, after the birth.
And after that,
but it does not continue
and after that, there is no need of milk also.
After 2-3 years, right?
Yeah, after 2 years, there is no need for any milk. Your body system gets developed. It will start adjusting to everything and it digests easily.
Because when you look at animals, after a certain period, they stop drinking milk.
Yeah, human is the only animal will take milk till he dies.
And tea and coffee.
Yeah. and why tea and coffee existed is, we in our taste, we will have always sour taste, salt taste, sweet taste and spicy. But in our food habits, there will not be more amount of bitter, more amount of astringent. We don't use bitter and astringent generally in cooking. So to compensate the taste was tea and coffee introduced. Tea should be always astringent in taste and coffee always should be in bitter taste in taste. But what we are doing is we are adding sugar, we are adding milk, we are converting the taste into sweet again. So the purpose why tea and coffee was introduced also, we are not using it properly.
Well, we are subject to the mechanism of marketing. But you also mentioned that you don't advise people to eat cauliflower, cabbage, and a few other vegetables. Why is that?
But all these things will affect the digestion, because every vegetable will go and play on one organ of the body. Always I see a vegetable, how it grows. A vegetable which grows if you water, if a vegetable which grows without watering, a vegetable which grows in which season, the same impact will have on the human body also. So cauliflower and cabbage, basically they act on the urinary bladder. So when you consume more amount of cauliflower and cabbage, it acts on the bladder and it will not allow the bladder to empty the urination fully. So there will be always a residual. People don't understand. After they urinate, they feel that still 2-3 drops is left out, but they consider it as a normal. But the residual will get into circulation that most of the joint problems because of these residual urines. I have treated many patients when they avoid cauliflower and cabbage, they come out of their joint pains.
Wow. Just before wrapping up this episode, do you do your own pulse reading?
No.
You cannot do your own pulse reading?
We can do, but generally I don't do.
So you get somebody else to do it?
Yeah. My wife, she is good in doing pulse because she's learning she's also a doctor. She is learning and I have a 3-year-old baby, and I'm training her now from now to read the pulse.
To be the next genius, probably. Anyways, Dr. Madhu, thank you very much for being with us
And
in the studio.
I should thank you for giving me this opportunity.
And thank you for sharing so much of your knowledge. It has been a very interesting insight into the world of food and how we live and how we should probably live and what we should avoid in our daily food and activities. Well, thank you for coming in the studio.
I should thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of this episode of Encounter. If you have any queries, questions, proposals, or even suggestions on the guest or on this topic today, drop an email at encounter@nbc.itnet.mu. Until then, goodbye.